Welcome back, Your Honor, and welcome now to Shout Out Wednesday. Post a comment or ask a question at soulgarden.tv in the Libra viewing room. I'll do my best to shout back or answer 1 week later. Well, looks like sunny and sentimental today for the judge and jury of the zodiac. The moon is in your opposite sign of Aries, putting emotional focus on marriages and partnerships for the next 48 hours. Now, this is kind of an emotional beta test of what you learned in the last 30. Remember, all last month with Sun in Aries was about your marriages and partnerships, and that does include the way you relate to yourself. So if you find yourself falling on the emotional dark side of the moon, you didn't learn, or you're not applying what you learned to your emotional reaction. So things should be positive. You should feel stronger. This should be an excellent time for you to invest in the sentiment of you connected to another person in a long-term fashion. Now, zipping around the Sun in Taurus, if you are having some anxiety, it might be boundaries and intimacy issues. Remember, we're in Chapter 1 of Sun in Taurus, and in the next 8 days, you're going to be uncovering problems that you have with where you draw your lines. That's between you and another person. That's between you and yourself. That's between you and your banker. That's between you and all things in life. So for the next 8 days, you're still going to uncover problems with boundaries and intimacy and trust, and that's what we're going to face in Chapter 2. So just kind of take note of that. Then lastly, Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is showing some great potential progress in your own personal dreams in the next 7 days. It's saying to me, fortune will come if you take risk on the path of romance, if you take risk in the path of creative expression, and with particular children. If you have children, which are the highest form of creative expression you can have, take risk. It's time to expand your influence in that area of your life and watch as the law of attraction doesn't pay you. Remember, Jupiter is the largest planet, 60 moons, 2,000 Earths could fit into it. A lot of gravity there. Then lastly, for our shout out, it goes to Ricky Shade, I think that's how you pronounce it, who is a Libra, that asked the question of a Venus retrograde. What is Venus retrograde? How is that supposed to have affected him? He has a Taurus rising. It's going to affect you in 2 areas. As Venus was retrograde in Aries, that's actually ending, you should have seen an effect in your long-term relationships and in your personal lifelong dramas, represented by Venus in your 12th house if you have a Taurus rising. So in that retrograde, you were re-looking at areas where you had lifelong issues, weeds in your soul garden, and how those lifelong issues really presented themselves in your marriages and your partnerships. But now that Venus is direct, whatever you've learned, it's time to apply it and now move forward, Ricky. All right, that's all we have for today. Shout Out Wednesday. See you folks tomorrow with more. Live, love, be.